heavy,
bored.
Those types of guys writing then, and you can tell that she's very into that. And I mean, dude, that used to be great. Like, this is what I'm like. We talked about this. We've always talked about it with the Stephen King, the sewer scene and shit. Like, this kind of books used to be fair game for the worst shit imaginable. Like, you used to go to them for the most shocking, disturbing, like, trashy elements possible. And that is being systemically wiped out, literally. You're not allowed to publish it in books anymore. And this is due to editors, agents, publishing houses. This is it. That's what I mean. Everything has gotten worse, and we're still insisting it hasn't. And we can see the numbers. The industry is failing. They're basically, at this point, it's straight up abuse of writers when they're taking these exploitive contracts where they don't give you any marketing and take all the money for your book. It's incredible that we've reached this point. And one of the interesting things about those statistics, Colleen Hoover, that romance writer who self-publishes all her stuff, she literally was in had 8 of the top 20 books this past year.
Damn.
Like, literally, meaning she was selling millions of copies of this self-published romance stuff. You know, we're not big romance people. We don't really read those. Although it'd be interesting to do a romance novel on the pod. Listeners, send in Rex. We'd like to, we have no idea about romance genre, so I don't know. I was thinking we'd do like a Danielle Steele book or something just to whet our appetite. I don't know. Listeners can chime in, see which, where we should head in the romance direction and do a heavy board episode. But yeah, man, it's, I think it just shows what's happening. Like, self-publishing, like I said, used to be a laughing stock. It's not so much a laughing stock anymore. Even if you're no good, if you find the audience, you know, you're not a literary writer, there's still an audience out there that clearly isn't being served. Clearly the current romance novels are not serving the audience like Colleen Hoover's are. You know what I mean? And I think of this with a lot of self-published stuff that I see online and like men's adventure fiction. I'm not even a huge fan of the genre, but, you know, every once in a while I like to read a stupid book, you know? Yeah. And, those just don't exist anymore. You have to, like, you can barely find them if you go into a Barnes and Noble. Like, it's all about Katniss Everdeen and all this kind of shit. And, like, there is no men's adventure fiction for people to read on the bus, you know.
Tris Pryor.
Which is why people are going backwards. They're reading stuff and making movies of books that were published 160, 50 years ago. Like, you know, White Noise, right? Noah Baumbach just did White Noise, and I'm not a huge fan of that book. I'm not a big Don DeLillo fan, period, but, like, that book was published literally, like, 40 years ago. Like, that book was published 40 years ago, and we just made a movie about it, and we made a movie so late about it because, like, the humor doesn't hold up, the irony doesn't hold up, and I don't know if you watched that or not, but, the book itself, I think, is a boring book that doesn't hold up that much, but, like, I'm sure that means the story in the movie didn't either, although I haven't watched it yet. I'm not a big Noah Baumbach guy. I think he's incredibly boring. Yeah,
it's not for me.
I liked parts of Marriage Story and stuff like that. I think parts of that were really good, but that was because the actors were really good. And then, like, I think, and, you know, he writes good dialogue. You know, he knows how to write dialogue and things like that. But his direction is just, you know, he always kind of misses the mark for me. But I'll watch that eventually, I'm sure. White Noise. I just haven't had time and don't care enough to be, oh, I really want to watch this. Oh, I really got to watch it. I'm always behind on all that shit anyway, dude. Like, I don't keep up with shit. I'm listening to music from, like, 3 years ago because, like, I just never keep up with it. I have to, like, I'm, like, 3 years behind. But it's new to me. So we're doing The Great Gatsby today. We've preambled. Good long time.
So I'm really hung up on buying this fucking book now. I'm like,
what
I gotta
book?
buy it.
Yeah, Tessa book.
Inner.
Resources. American resources.
Being bored?
Some activities are intentional, right?
It shows such a lack of gratitude for life. Bored. I aspire to boredom, I should say.
Bored. Heavy.
I am heavy.
Bored.
Has you the night sweats and the day sweats, pal? Pal, I do.